Sorry, hello? I believe. Oh, I am live. Sorry, I wanted to get mic settings. I hope that wasn't too loud right at the beginning. Hello, everyone. Oh, there we go. Hey. How's it going? Hello, Cornbread. Thank you for reminding me. I have the tweet all set up. Need to do a few things before I started the show there. But I think we are good. I hope we are good. I want to say hello to Nanbox64, Sinram, Super Dusky, Shiloh, Purple Goop, Jordan Salafalo, Gary. Hello, Gary. Sorry, Ramsey the Artist, Nathaniel Foga, Carter Wright, K-Master Pup, a guy named Crisful, and James Manning. Hello, everyone. How is it going? Let's switch over to Jim's putting on his shirt. Maybe. Hello, Jellystone Miss Eve, all who celebrate. I forget about Jellystone's coming back. Anyway, hello. How's it going? The Logi camera. Sorry. It's always like a rush to get the show going, but we got the show going. I think the color looks nice tonight. I hope everyone else feels that way. Zane Powers, how's it going? Popping in. Sorry, not pooping. Hey Dan, how's it going? Sorry about that. Ruby Gilman, that is true. Hey Ace the Wind Rider. Hello Taco Master. Yo, what is up? True. Hello Revark. Anyway. Yes, sorry. I think I burned my mouth last night, or burned my tongue a little. So I think my voice sounds a little weird, but I've been drinking. It's feeling a lot better, so I think we'll be okay tonight. So I might need to use the bathroom. We'll see. But anyway, this is Movie Crap Live. Here to talk about movie news and movie and animation news and all sorts of stuff. I had a good week. I think it's been a good week. There's some news despite our last show being on Thursday. Oh, thank you, Revark. How's it going? And there's lots to talk about with the Stuckman thing and stuff like that. No, I saw the bear. If there was a bear, that'd be pretty crazy. Just like that one. Just like the Spectacular Spider-Man episode, I'm sure. Trying to think of anything cool. Trying to see as many Best Picture nominees. I think I'll end up seeing them all but Maestro. I might actually have made it out without having to deal with Maestro. Because I don't even think people as a joke want me to review Maestro. It's not even. I feel like Green Book stole that from us. The Oscar bait thing. Jim is bear now. I like that. The Oscar bait thing, now when you think of that, you're like, Jesus. It just pushed it too far, And now I feel like I'm not the only one who skips the very obvious one. I feel like maybe in a post Green Book world, I think that's what happened. Yeah, I don't think there's anything too much. I feel like there probably is, but I can't think of it. Oh well, thank you, Zane Powers. You saw it over Elemental? What kind of what scenario would that even be? I'm a little lost on that one. Hello, Al Vasquez. Let me see. I did get sick. That was cool. I don't think or it wasn't cool actually. So it's didn't have a video on Saturday and kind of pushed Little Shop of Horrors around. But I'm very proud of that, that video. I got to end up taking more time on it and I really like Little Shop, so I was like kind of happy with how everything turned out with that. I think that turned into a cool video, but it's also really cool like going into that movie more. Oh, you meant Ruby Gilman over Elemental. That is a better choice. I understand that now. That anyway. I mean, now I feel bad for other reasons. So, I feel better from that, I guess. The Holdovers I wouldn't consider Oscar bait, but I understand what you're saying there. Man, trying to. Yeah, I'm sure there's probably something. Hello, Chan Talks Movies. Doesn't matter. If anyone has not guessed the energy drink yet, it's down here. You can't see it. But if you, I guess the first version does, I will reveal it. However, yeah. So this week it's been. Oh, the Jodie Foster video exploded. It's like doing really well. I'm a little surprised by it, but I always had faith in that video, honestly. And there is a part 2. I was like, well, maybe people won't want it or something, but I do have a part 2, so I think part 2 will come out next week, as well as the Martin Scorsese. Sorry for so many shorts. It was more so than I wanted, but it was just that I got sick on Saturday and stuff. The other, and Little Shop, and the throwbacks this week, I guess, were Pompoko, because it had its anniversary coming out in 94. And then after that, I hope my voice sounds okay. Sipping on a lot of water. After that, or tomorrow, I think, is Alphabet City, which is a really cool. I don't know if anyone has heard of Alphabet City. It's a movie from the 80s. The music is by Nile Rodgers. It's very hip hop inspired Nile Rodgers score. He never released it outside of the movies. The only way you can listen to it is if you see this movie. It's on Tubi. So, Tommy Tubi's got great taste. I'm not going to do his voice tonight, but he has great taste. And, yeah, it's got like this early hip hop cool score by Nile Rodgers, or the guy who's if you've seen the video of Daft Punk, he's the guy who's playing, I believe he plays bass, right? He's played guitar. Anyway, he's in the band with Daft Punk for Get Lucky. So it's a movie. I don't think I don't think it's like a great movie, but like its style and its music is honestly amazing, and something we should get into more. I don't know. I seriously love just putting on that movie and listening to music. I might do that when I do the timestamps later. But it is really cool. So I wanted to do a throwback to that because it came out in 1984. I like to do anniversaries. I like to do relevant things. There's stuff like that. But that's a movie I have a real fondness for. I just caught it on TCM one night, and that is a genuinely cool movie. I literally find parts on YouTube that I like the music for and rewatch them because I can't listen to the music otherwise. But I also like the styles very 80s in a cool way. And it's by this guy who, Amos Poe, I think, and he was trying to do like a no wave movement where it's like combining modern things in a minimalist way. It's weird. He had a weird theory, but it's like kind of a very cool, odd, stylized 80s version of what Alphabet City was in the 80s. So it's like part trying to be real, part trying to be fake, part trying to be, and it doesn't really make up its mind. It's just very interesting. It's a super cool movie. It's on Tubi. I highly recommend it. You're going to be like, it was on TCM Underground, and it's the definition of a weird cult movie where you're like, I just like the vibe of this. like I don't think this is like, I don't know. I think it like came together in a real interesting, cool way, but it's something like ever since I've seen it, I've been sort of obsessed with it. So, I would say that one. Sorry. I would say you should see that one, but I'm talking about the throwback, which will be tomorrow. So when that comes out, I think the review's actually from 2013, but anyway, the movie came out in 84, so that's why. All right. That's my relationship with the hearts covering something cherry. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. All right. I guess we'll just start off. Sorry I was a little late. Just I actually couldn't get. This is not to like keep pushing the energy drink. I put it in the fridge and then I knew it was there. It got like buried under leftovers that I put in there. I was like, where is it? Is Sonic Youth Snow Wave? I didn't realize that. I love Sonic Youth. Sonic Youth is great. Every time now I'm like, I haven't listened to Sonic Youth in a while. And I was like, yeah, because I've done that too many times in my life. Do I have other things? Maybe? No, I don't think so. We'll see. Oh, and there's only one segment tonight, partly because I didn't really have time, and I don't even know where I'm. I really like Washing Machine. I'm sort of with you on that, Gary. But anyway, um, yeah, I don't think there's anything else. I do really like Washing Machine. That's probably the first one I got. I don't know. I like Daydream Nation way more now that I'm older than I did when I was a kid. But I also like Goo and is it Dirty and stuff. Anyway, Sonic Nurse is underrated. I'm gonna say that. Anyway, oh yeah, sorry. The only segment is going to be the Boondocks Pilot because I also part of the problem with the segments is or the shorts or whatever they are is they become videos later and I have too many things shot so I don't actually know where beyond this one would go the further week. So I'm not sure if like next week there'll even be segments or not just because I don't know where they would go. So we'll see. We'll see. I might just end up doing the other. There's another live action short on Netflix with David Oyelowo, and I might just review that here and like if it wins or something. I don't know. We'll see. That might be what happens, but you might see kind of a lack of that, or I might just end the show early. But we'll see. I think the show will probably go till 12:30, a little over, just because we started late. But we'll see. And yeah. All right. So this, my nose is being extra funky today. All right. This, hold on. Sorry. All right. So this and everything I do is supported by you, the fans, either through super chats during the show, and I'll drink this, whatever this is down here. Someone has to do super chats to find out, and I'll read those out and stuff, or through my Patreon. Oh, congrats, Cornbread. Or through my Patreon. It has all sorts of cool stuff, like the movie review vote winners just came out. All sorts of issues trying to get that out, but it finally came out. And then my commentary series, you get postcards, which those are going to go out next week. Everyone who is a patron, sorry, it's been a little bit. Well, I guess it hasn't. I'm not late yet, but anyway, you get posts about each video. If it's a special video, whichever it is, you get them 24 hours in advance. All sorts of cool stuff. I'll support the show. Maybe one day it'd be really cool if we had enough money to have someone help out and stuff, or support family good and stuff. That would be neat if we had that. X-Men 97 was last week, Gary. I'm sorry. All sorts of stuff, and help me do, spread the word about the channel through flyer stickers and things like that if you're financially able to do so, which would be really cool. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. But if you are not, if you're not financially able to do so, just liking this, watching the video, telling a friend, that'd be cool too. Or just being here is really cool of you as well. So, yeah. Just looking at that energy drink. But yeah, all of that is very appreciated if you can. But thank you all for being here. Regardless. Oh, and I have a surprise for this segment, which I've been having in my hand. I haven't told anybody. So the Discord. The Discord is run very well by Zane Powers and Austin, who's somewhere in the chat. I want to say hi, Austin, and everybody say Austin. Austin is awesome in the chat if you could. Austin Zane Powers run an amazing Discord. If you like everyone in the chat who I talked to during the show, a great way to hang out with them is, for real, I'm not joking, hang out on the Discord. You can go click on that and all sorts of things. You can see Cornbread's thumbnail predictions. He tries to guess what I have on the thumbnails. He's gotten really close, even having the same picture in each frame there. He's very good at it. And then all sorts of things, like I asked before the show, I asked, hey, what do you want me to talk about in movie crap? There's a daily question. They do movie watches. There's an Ask Jim channel, which I was updated at some point today. And all sorts of stuff, as well as a licensed playing card channel. And for a long time, I've had the same Studio Ghibli cards. And I kind of went, they're pretty high quality cards. So I'm going to like let them just rest. And they're right here behind me. But, so I came up with new ones. And I'm going to say, well, first I'm going to show you what they are. We have, let me get my, sorry, I want to actually see what I'm doing here. These are my Back to the Future cards here. Sorry, I have cuts on my hands. We have the Back to the Future cards here. And, oh, we have Super Dusky. Hold on. I will. Okay, take a sip. Jim was thinking of joining your Patreon to put my weird movies in the... I would like that. That's one of the things... Hold on. I think I say that a lot in the... Hold on. Cheers. This is it. It's another one of the rocks. It's Super Berry Zoya of the Rocks energy drink there, which I do enjoy, and they are like healthy and stuff. Cheers to you. Those amino acids and caffeine from green coffee and green tea, and B and C vitamins, and potassium and magnesium. But I actually, one of the things I like about the movie review vote, and I can say this about, is I know artists have this like real thing about like, they don't tell you what to do and stuff. You decide, and I'm totally for that, and no one's making me have their own opinion on it. But I do like kind of being pushed into different artistic directions, because like Gremlins 2, I got to do that review recently, and that was like a real interesting video to make, and same with Little Shop. So I actually really enjoy that about the review vote. Is like, what do I have to deal with this week? It's like it's or this month, sorry. It's kind of cool. I legitimately really love it. All right, so that, like, it's one of the things I actually really like. I'm like, ooh, a new challenge, you know, or oh, I never thought I'd get to do this. Like I could never make time or something. Anyway, that is one thing I really like about it. So if you've ever thought of becoming it's a $5 and up patrons to do it, and you're like, oh, he'll never review this, or that feels too safe, or that feels too weird. Unless I've already reviewed it, then I won't. So, but other than that, I'm very down. All right, so the cards. Back to the cards. Sorry, since you brought it up. And we're the first super chat. Congrats, Super Dusky. Thank you for the support. So these cards, I want to bring this up. These cards, this looks cool. And when I bought them, I thought, this is great. This is wonderful. I like Back to the Future. Who doesn't like if you don't like Back to the Future, don't put it in the chat, because everyone will hate you. But if you want to be that person, be that brave, I support you. However, okay, so you have these, and you know, if you have licenses, you have to sign the pictures of the stars, their images, to sell merch on them, right? And they didn't do that. So on the back of these, it's just pictures of the DeLorean and like weird images like that. And like the back of Marty and Doc, I guess that's legally okay. And that's it. There's this is like the car in front of the theater. Look, it's the index. So anyway, these are like the worst license cards I've ever had, because look, it's the thing. Where's Marty? Not on these cards. Like, why would you even make them? I don't. I don't understand. Like, it's so bad. Like, it's funny. I have other cards of movies, and they never go that this bad. It's really, I'm sort of into how bad it is, because it's like, look, it's like Joker, Back to the Future, but they're all Jokers. Because where is Marty? I wanted pictures of like Marty and Doc and like, here's another one of the cards driving fast. It's going back to the future. It's just wild. I was like, did Michael J. Fox, Christopher Lloyd like put in a thing, but no playing cards, and Universal was like, fuck. How are we gonna be on Movie Crap Live? No, how are we gonna? It's so funny. Anyway, I will take a picture and they will be in the license in a few days. I wanted to reveal them on the show. I think that was the best way to do that. But it is really bad. Anyway, also you can follow me on who should go first? Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, Tumblr, Facebook fan page. It's all in the description down below. If I forgot one and you're on one, then the description would be down there. Thank you very much for being here. Send me more super chats so I don't fall asleep. And let's get into it. Now, I will talk about Stuckman second. And if you see my tweets about it, this is not going to be necessarily a takedown. But I did see Madam Web and watch his full review. So my opinions have changed a little. So before we had news break tonight, and I wanted to do this first because it came out. If I was one of those people who did like a reaction thing, and obviously they've never watched those things before, so it's not planned at all. But if I was, because I was like, because basically what the real story that came out, the story that I saw first everywhere was the Ballerina starring Ana de Armas, which is a John Wick spinoff, has been delayed from June 7th, 2024 to June 6th, 2025. Oh, so it's a day early. No, it was pushed back a whole year. But they should do it but the real thing that's hidden in this that's far more interesting was that The Crow is being pushed up. Is actually, no, not being pushed up, actually given a date. We didn't know when The Crow remake was gonna, or the new version of The Crow is now getting the June 7th date. But I would have done it I'm reading this, bringing this up, haven't really looked, this is the first time I'm seeing this, like Trump said, and be like, but The Crow? And then I'd go like that. What? Sorry, I just don't get how you can, whatever. Threads, I don't know about Threads. People are saying, I don't know about Threads. I don't need another thing. It's like I'll probably end up there. Maybe Blue Sky, their invitations or something. So, to start with the Ballerina, it is a spinoff of John Wick. It is directed by Len Weissman, who's not a director I've ever liked in my entire life, and I don't really get why they keep giving him work. I did see Total Recall, his version, which was horrible. I didn't see his other movies. I think I saw an Underworld once. I have no clue. Maybe I've seen another one of his movies. Good for him if I have. But apparently he directed the Ballerina, and they didn't think there were enough action sequences. So to get it better, they're going to do a ton of reshoots with Chad Stahelski. That's not a good sign, because that is what Chad Stahelski does for certain films. They'll come in and beef up the action or just direct the act. I forget which movies. Didn't they do that to Black Widow and a few others? Chad Stahelski and David Leitch would go in and beef up the action. So I imagine they don't want a shitty action in their John Wick spinoff. So I sort of get it. I was looking forward to that because of Ana de Armas, but because I think she, after No Time to Die, she's a good action lead. I don't like No Time to Die that much, but she was good in it. However, the Crow thing, The Crow, I think you have to understand, 90s kids, and I was a kid who went to a lot of comic book stores. in the 90s. So I did hear about like movies that were like sort of cooler or something like that. Um, but I remember hearing about The Crow, even though I was too young to watch it at the time. I don't, I did see it later, and the soundtrack was still everywhere by the time I was in middle school, and I had the soundtrack of the first one. It was such a huge movie, so I do think like why you're hearing people around my age freak out so much is because it was such a big movie. But for me, it was like a comic book movie that was dark and edgy. The comic books were being reprinted everywhere, things like that. So, Bloxy Aquawinkle said Kevin James should be in Borderlands. Shake my head. You know what? Okay, you actually have a point. Actually, no, wait, that doesn't. No, actually, I because two half of Jumanji is in Borderlands, and I don't think Kevin James is in Jumanji. But if he was, you'd believe me, right? Like, would you believe me if I told you Kevin James was in the Rock Jumanjis? That sounds like a thing. Anyway, I was gonna say 2/3 and Kevin James is in Jumanji, but he's not. But it feels like he should be. I think. I agree with you, Bloxy. I agree with you. Anyway. For some reason, in the posters, I didn't realize that was Kevin Hart. And then when I saw the trailer, I was like, oh, it's Kevin Hart. I don't know who I thought it was before, but whatever. But The Crow's a big movie for me. As a kid, we watched a lot. I will probably review the original when this comes out, which would be cool. It's something I want to do for a long time. I'd like to revisit that. I wouldn't mind doing City of Angels, which I heard I've only seen like once. The soundtrack for both were... I think I listened to the soundtrack of City of Angels. It's one of those where the soundtrack became a big deal and the movie didn't. Whereas The Crow, I think it was like comparable, probably. But anyway, I don't know. It is sad to talk about because you're like Brandon Lee, and he was such a big deal. Like up until 2000, there were kids wearing shirts of like any one of his movies, not just The Crow. Like people liked. I don't know. It's sad. Anyway, The Rock could have been in Brick. I mean, it's right there. I like that. But you wouldn't be shocked if Kevin James was. Anyway. All right. So Chris Stuckman. Let's talk about this whole thing, because this is I don't mean to talk about this to like shame him in a sense, which is not what I mean to do. But I also did really look into this, and I think it's an interesting debate, like a critical debate. And since I do movie reviews, I've done them for a little bit. I did think it was interesting. Now, when I saw the first clip on Twitter, it was basically like him explaining his context of, well, I review movies, but I now have made a movie, my feelings on those change. And he explains his context. And if you're reviewing a movie and you explain like, well, I watched this movie with my dad and it like represents this to me and like this is where I'm coming from, that's actually fairly acceptable. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to, if it's going to play into it, you should explain your context. And then I didn't see the rest because I hadn't seen Madam Web. And I personally don't watch a lot of reviews until I've seen the movie. I don't know about you guys. I just don't. If I know I'm going to see it. If I'm really not, and I like the critics, sometimes I will. But so I saw Madam Web. I watched the video today. The thing with it is, he basically plays a clickbait game with it, which I don't like, because the picture is a typical thumbnail of like, it's like Stuckman and the Madam Web poster thing. It's like very typical, and you would think the review video would be called Madam Web movie review, but it's like we need to talk about or something like that. And it becomes, while you're watching the video, when I was watching, it slowly doesn't become about Madam Web. It just becomes about how hard it must be shooting at a studio, which he admits he knows like nothing about. Which I'm also like, that's the weirdest part of this whole thing. Is it's like saying in a sense, he handled it very professionally and very critically. I actually thought it was very well written at the beginning, or well spoken, but it's kind of goes off the rails because he doesn't like he admits it. Uh, he doesn't like he didn't make a movie like that, and I do actually get like working on something for a very long time and not having it come out like how you want it to, and you're disappointed, and making stuff is always difficult, but that's life. And I I just thought it started as something. Yes, once you start making movies, you readjust what you think of other movies, but at the same time, it's like, why are you covering this then? Like, you've already said you're doing that. I don't get that. And it's also like, are you in the industry? Like, your movie's not even out yet. Like, I don't. Like, a lot of people have brought up this, like, I don't know if, like, your case is even the same because, like, you're a big enough internet person to crowdfund the money to make this movie. And, like, that's not, like, yeah, I don't know. I just found it after I'd seen Madam Web. I mean, you don't need to see Madam Web to watch the video, and like, why he used Madam Web for this is fucking weird. Like, we'd already heard him say, "Well, I'm not doing negative reviews anymore," even though it's like, well, how did you get popular, motherfucker? Like, I looked at upload thing, his most popular uploads, and it's all this hilariosity things. It's like, I get he has twins that he has to take care of and stuff, but at the same point, it's like, dude, you could have just like done that with Argyle or done that with anything. Honestly, like, why you chose to reintroduce this, and it did go around viral. I don't think the video has as many views as you think it would. No offense to him, I was a little surprised by that personally. But I I just thought it was like a little pretentious overall. It I don't have a problem with someone explaining their context, but like, just like, why are you covering it, and why are you reminding of it? And if I was a subscriber, which I'm not, I would be like, I would be kind of disappointed. I like Zane Powers. Did Jeremy Johns have a better take on this? I mean, I think Jeremy Johns actually did a review of Madam Web, and if you click on that video, I'm pretty sure he's not talking about, how many donuts he ordered that day. Unless he did. Respect to that. But cheers to you, Zane Powers. Thank you for bringing up Jeremy Johns. But I don't know. I mean, part of this is like, I just don't get, like, why are you reminding us you do this? Like, and why with Madam Web? Like, you're just kind of using, it's just sort of clickbait, ultimately. Like, you could have just let this go. I don't really understand what the point is. I know people bring up the Ghostbusters thing. I think the Ghostbusters thing is different, because if he didn't do it, it's like, there's certain things, if you make stuff and you are known for certain things, like, if he didn't do a Godzilla movie, we would constantly be like, why didn't you do Godzilla -1? Or why didn't, that would be weird. And one of the things he's attached to is Ghostbusters, so I get what James Rolfe did. I don't. I think I think they're both silly. It's like, just cover it. Like, what's the big fucking deal? You move, you'll have another video, people move on. I still am like, if I was him, I would have just done it. I don't see what the big deal is. Like, I don't love the presumptive fan thing anyway, but it's just, there are certain things you're known for, and it's like, obviously he knew a superhero movie is going to perform well, and Madam Web was out, and I'm sure he was like, this will do better. It did better than a lot of his other videos, but like, I found it like, cool take at the beginning, but it just really went off the rails, and it sounded like, I think a lot of times YouTube people get a taste of like, you know, a development deal or something, and then we all have to hear about it forever, and we're all kind of sitting there like, I don't know. It's just the whole thing, I think. Or no, they're all just sitting there like they're gonna be this next big thing, and I wish they would just like be quiet and just like let it slowly come out and not be so presumptive. And it kind of played like that. I also think like if if you're Chris Stuckman, I was like, if you put out your own movie, uh, I do feel like he's gonna get eaten alive at this point. Like before I was like, well, there's a lot of kids who grew up with him and are now critics. Are gonna be nice, but I'm like, this like opens the door, open season on this fucking guy's movie. Um, I I I do think he's opened Pandora's box, and he could have avoided that because he could have just not talked about it. Because it's like if a movie, you know, if a movie makes me uncomfortable, which is there are not many of them, I, you know, won't cover it. You know, I also think like another part of this is Stuckman and ABGN and Nostalgia Critic. They are not influences on me. I know a lot of people who make YouTube are. I mean, I was older when they came out, and I think if you're covering American criticism or making a documentary, you would have a section on those guys, absolutely. But I was never as into them, so I think like when I look at these guys, I do have like maybe more hesitation and stuff, so they don't play to me as like ever being these important people. But even though I know they're influential, but I don't know. I don't mind what Stockman's doing, and like he's covering movies he likes, and like that's fine. But I do find it to be a little like a lot of people brought up like if you're a subscriber to this guy, I mean he was like bringing it up, and I don't have actually problems with him as a person. I just don't think I don't really like his reviews, to be honest. I think usually they're structured pretty decent and stuff like that, but I rarely hear a real interesting take that makes me go like, I mean, Gary, it's true. I'm sorry. It's fucking true. It's absolutely true. There, it's already happened. It's like the influence is there. I don't agree. He's not, but nostalgia critic, and that's a part of the history of criticism at this point. But sorry, sorry to inform you. I don't know. It's just like what? Why did you announce it? Like, what were you doing? That's the part of that. I don't know. I agree with people like, why was this discussed? It was discussed because it became like a major thing. But part of me thinks like it was, I don't know, after watching it and seeing Madam Web and stuff, I was like, I do not love this. I think it might have been a point, to be honest. Like, there's been this whole mode of the criticism has lost its edge. And I think sometimes we don't have as many like hateable movies. Like Cats was like really easy to dunk on, and Madam Web is like another one. And I think he was like, oh well, this is the era, we don't do that as much. And I almost think this is the moment where people turn and go like, fuck that, let's 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 knock some motherfuckers down. You know, I think that is going to be the change, possibly, because this was like did not look great, and there's no way to change that. So, I just ultimately the idea of it, cool. I think the execution and knowing the context of it, it comes out a lot worse. And I think it'll have a huge mark on his legacy overall, as both a critic and a person and a director and filmmaker. So good luck to him. All right. Um. So, Coyote versus Acme. You probably were like, why again? By the way, there was a joke in the thumbnail for this one. That one, to explain it, I don't. I mentioned it in the chat, but it's basically the last one had Coyote with the sign about to fall, and the second one, and this one is him falling. So I thought it'd be like a cute little thing. Um, but it's come out that Coyote vs. Acme will probably be deleted on Friday forever, as a tax write-off, unless they change their mind, just put it on Max or someone gives them $70 million. We will never see Coyote vs. Acme, which just seems the likely choice at this point. Eric Bazooka, which I believe is his name, and is how it is pronounced. I'm pretty sure that I saw that in the Discord, so I'm pretty sure that's how you say it. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, but okay, William Ellman, you're right. He did ring out, but I also think, yeah, he's not gonna make it talk to me. But that is a good comparison, actually. Anyway, um, but sorry, I keep looking at the chat there. Yeah. Anyway, Eric Bazooka said that thing at the Annies about they should release Coyote vs. Acme. There's constant things about it, but it doesn't seem like it's going to change. And this write-off thing is going to change. And as much as everyone brings up that they hate this, it seems like other executives think David Zaslav is super cool and all his policies are really cool. And he's become influential, which is like one of the worst extra things about this. I'm very scared about that. And the other thing that came out about this is Stephen King brought up that there is a Salem's Lot movie, which we had heard about. And it's shot and it's done, and you saw it and it's pretty good. And that kind of means that we're going to have another tax write-off movie right after this, which would be Salem's Lot, most likely, which a lot of people are insinuating, although there doesn't seem to be any evidence, and they might just be holding it because who's sure what to do with release dates at this point. It's probably good to like hold a movie to like plop in the schedule, most like what happened with The Crow. I could honestly see that, but it doesn't look good either. And how many more are we going to have to witness? Like, are we going to have to witness every 6 months or something promising or interesting idea, at least, big budget movie that they now have to axe so David Zaslav or whatever CEO can suck up to its shareholders? I think it should just be, I do agree with some people who say, well, if it's a tax write-off, shouldn't we as taxpayers get it for free because we technically paid for it? And I kind of agree with that. I think it should just go on the Internet Archive, like Batgirl, Scoob's Holiday Haunt, and Coyote vs. Acme, and as well as the Disney Plus shows like Willow and the one in space or whatever. Those should as well. But I do think it is like the worst form of capitalism because it's like you're not actually making anything. You're just using it to get a tax write-off. You're not. I thought part of commerce was making a product, and they're not even doing that at this point. They're just like, here you go. Or they're just like, oh, cool, you did it. Well, it's actually worth more dead than alive. I mean, it's like, what's the point of these companies? I do actually still see a bigger independent movement in the next decade, but I haven't seen it really take off yet. I'm wondering when it will, because this kind of news does not, but I do think those movies should be in the public domain if that is the case. I know that there's government people talking about investigating them, but I've yet to see anything. All right, I'm going to take an earlier break because I have to pee, but I want to do the Gareth Edwards thing, and then I'll take a break. A quick break. Gareth Edwards has... Sorry, my eye is like being weird. All right. I have been saying it for years, but like, when are people going to do it? Okay, so Gareth Edwards has been announced as being in discussion to direct, which the studio keeps calling the new Jurassic World movie, not Jurassic Park. It was going to be David Leitch, but now it's going to be Gareth Edwards. I think one of the reasons for this supposedly is actually because of Rogue One, because he held himself together so well. And if you actually read about the main Rogue One, like, he was pretty cool about, like, he was on set during the reshoots. He actually helped out. I actually give him a lot of credit because it's like a lot of directors would have had a temper tantrum. And like look at Doug Liman with his stupid Amazon thing where he wanted a theatrical for a movie that he signed a deal that would he was given the option. He picked streaming. Like directors and creative people can be very melodramatic, and he was not. And I thought it was kind of unfair. He was in director's jail, but I think the double dose of the creator, which got visual effects nominations, it got a couple like technical Oscar nominations, which it deserved. And he made a movie that cost like something like 80 million. It looks like it cost 200. And I think the studios went, okay, you have a guy who's like will work with his studio even if he messes up, is a nice guy, and can shoot something and make it look more expensive than it is. And apparently when they're like, we just need a shooter, like this is not an auteur movie, I think it actually works for his sensibilities, because the thing everybody says about him is he worked better under Tony Gilroy, or works better with a good script. His biggest problem is his writing, and that he'll work within a studio, and he's done big budget stuff. I think this could really actually work really well, to be honest with you. I was like, this is actually a great fucking choice. I still think they should move it back for him so he could fiddle with it, because I think like visually it could be like the biggest pile of garbage, but like I would like the creator, no, like, but like it could not be great, but it would look cool. I do think like with the David Kemp script, it's very hard to go wrong, but I think he'll direct the hell out of it and get it to work for him. But and I understand career-wise why he would want to do it. So I'm very curious about this now. I hope it works out. I hope next week I'm not like, I don't know who else they can get at this point, but I feel like it'll be him. I don't think it's going to make the July 2025 release thing we have going right now. I think the only thing that's making that right now is Superman. That's my prediction. But we'll see what happens next. But I do think it'll be interesting what happens, if they really sign him, and how that movie will come out. Like, I'm excited to see the first trailer now. David Leitch, it's like, I like the first John Wick a lot, but all his solo stuff other than Atomic Blonde I'm less into. Gareth Edwards, like, I enjoyed watching The Creator. I could not tell you shit about that story, but I still remember the visuals, and like, it's kind of like I'd much rather get Jurassic World 2 and have it be like a movie with cool ideas that didn't work out than Jurassic World 3, which was horrible. So like, I don't know. I don't think it'll be, but I think, hey, a David Kemp script, like it could be his best movie, He's a creative filmmaker. He could really get that to work. So I'm excited for that. Anyway, I'm going to go to the bathroom. Don't drink the energy drink while I'm gone, and I'll be right back. I'll be right back. Realizing I did not mute the mic, so sorry about that. Anyway, actually, William Ellman, I'm sorry, brought up the human hybrids. I don't think that'll happen, but one thing that's going to be different in this era of studio filmmaking is that everyone's talking about smaller budgets, And I think, yeah, I know, Cornbread. Thank you. I think that also makes Gareth Edwards very attractive because if you can pay less and make it look like more, he's a enticing prospect. I bet you this is more of his era than before. Don't look like I drank the energy. Don't look. I drank the energy drink when he left. Cheers to you, Zane Powers. Cheers to you. I would like the dino-human hybrids. I don't know why they always fuck around with that shit. It's like, or same with like the dinosaurs in the human world. Like that seemed really cool. Like, and yet we're not getting that. So it's just like, why is that? You know, it's like, it's just disappointing, to be honest with you. Like, why can't they do that? Because that would have been cool in 3. Instead, it's about fucking locusts. Like, locusts. Who was... Anyway. Whatever. And Ace the Wind Rider did send me a image for when I go on break, and I was dumb enough to not load it up. We'll see if I do that during the real break. But one thing we keep hearing about is Paramount and Peacock or Universal sort of merging into one big company. I have Paramount Plus. I do not have Peacock. I think that would kind of work out. There's all sorts of rumors about Universal and Max. Max cannot explore a sale until April, so interesting movie craps in April, I guess. But until then, they can't pursue it. And I know Paramount is very much looking for a sale. It's a real possibility that Warner's and Universal will merge, and Paramount has to figure it out. And we are gonna see a shrinking of studios, which is not great for the film industry at all. So I'm a little worried, and the media industry in general. So I am concerned about that it looks like by the end of the year we'll either see Warner's be either buying or being sold to someone, and Paramount, I mean, openly, that's no insider whatever, it's very much there that they are trying to. So we'll see what's going to happen there, but it's depressing. So there are a couple articles that came out today. One is about more Warner stuff, and I probably should have waited the rest, but I'm going to talk about them. Well, I'll talk about two things on more Warner stuff. Is the article about Marvel shifting things. My thing with this is we already knew Marvel last week with Fantastic Four, X-Men 97 announcement. Was there another thing they did? Fantastic Four, X-Men 97. Not sure. They probably did. I'm sure it's great. But they were basically like changing the narrative around Marvel. And then this article came out and was like, oh yeah, Deadpool, sorry. And now this article is like, that's what they're doing. And I was like, okay. Like, I read this article and then later was like, did I? What was the big revelation? And it's mainly that they have the guy from The Bear working on the Thunderbolts script, which is the first time I've heard anything good about the Thunderbolts movie. And then another writer is polishing up Fantastic Four, which is like, okay, all right, cool. The rest is like, well, they have Pedro Pascal and they have Deadpool. I'm like, yeah, I know. We know. I don't know. It's just a very weak article, to be honest with you. I was kind of like, what's the point here? Next, we actually found out that Space Ghost, or George Lois, which might even be his last thing, showing on how his health's been, will be in Jellystone as Space Ghost, and Andy Merrill will be back as Brack. It looks cool. I forgot. I didn't know Jellystone was coming out. I kind of. I don't know. I'll at least watch that episode, which is the episode season 3, episode 15. I will watch that one. I don't know if I'll make a short of that or not. We'll see. I don't. It's hard with everything I want to get out, so I don't know if that would even happen. But I would like to watch it. But it was cool that George Lowe is going to be back for this. I like that how many of these people they're including. I think maybe Space Ghost was in a cameo or something earlier with Jellystone. I forget. But I'm happy that we're getting at least sort of a Cartoon Planet reunion. I would like more, but we'll see what's going on there and what the context is and how well it works. I hope it works pretty well because that would be nice. But again, we'll see what the deal's going to be. Sorry, with that. And then we have the Warner's article, and it's kind of what we sort of suspect. A lot of these articles today were like, oh, the stuff we thought is true. Cool. It was, this one was more depressing than the Marvel one, though, is that Lawrence Warner's is signing all these big deals, like the Tom Cruise deal, which supposedly is more Tom Cruise wanting to work with auteurs, which is good news. And one of the options they gave him was the movie critic, the Tarantino movie. Warner's, much like last time, kind of just thinks they can get Tarantino. They didn't last time. Sony did. I kind of don't see Tarantino bopping around studios. I think he'll probably stay with Sony and have a crazy deal. Ryan Coogler, however, did get a crazy deal where he gets all the rights 25 years after the release. Which he should. I mean, he's a great director. I don't have an issue with that. But that was a deal that Warner's previously was against because they wouldn't do it for Tarantino because they didn't want Christopher Nolan to do it. And Christopher Nolan's not at the studio anymore, so it's that was stupid. But yeah, they're signing all these deals to make the studio more and more attractive to a buyer. And sorry. They're kind of just inflating everything, like signing Margot Robbie's production company, signing other people, the Michael B. thing, Leonardo DiCaprio with the P.T. Anderson movie. Thank you, Remu Haraku Shrine. I guess I do the one. I need to trim this, actually. Maybe I should, that's what I should be like. If I hit this super chat goal, I will trim my beard. I don't know. I should look up how much it is. I forget how much it is. But the other thing was the Mickey 17, the Bong Joon-ho movie. Previously, a lot of top reporters had reported they had heard the rumor that it was pulled off the schedule because they wanted to make the Palme d'Or a possibility since he won Palme d'Or in Best Picture last time, and that it would premiere at Cannes, and that made a lot of sense, and I think everyone went, yeah, sure, that makes sense, and that's probably what's going to happen. And then we find out that it will then be sorry, where were we talking? Oh, that it will be released in January 31st, which is not great. I was hoping maybe they would do some Oscar qualifying stuff before that because that could work out, but I don't. Seems like that's not going to happen, and also because he wanted the IMAX screens, which you only get then. Supposedly in Korea and Asia, that weekend because of Lunar New Year is a bigger weekend than it is here and internationally, so it's not as bad as they say. But apparently Warner's is not super thrilled with it. But it is sort of weird to release a movie that you'd think this would be a big Oscar movie when it is. Maybe they know it's just not that kind of movie. We'll see whatever is going to happen with it. But it's kind of sad that it got pushed back so much and given like a January release date to go from winning a historic Best Picture to a January release is like not a great kind of not a great pathway there. So I hope it's a good movie. I hope it does well, and I hope it gets some sort of thing. Is Medela Butterfly not feeling well or something? Well, I hope you feel better. I'm sorry, Medela Butterfly. So next up, 2 musical biopics. This is a musical biopic section of the show, I guess. the Bee Gees are going to get a biopic from Ridley Scott. This apparently Robert Stigwood directed or produced The Duelist or something, or at least thought of working with Ridley Scott or was aware of him. And uh, supposedly had always wanted to do a thing with the Bee Gees. I think this could be at least interesting, whereas like most of the biopics, like I don't really want to see One Love because that just doesn't appeal to me very much, and I don't know if I don't know, with an interesting director. I'm sorry, I'm a mess tonight. I don't know if that works as well. However, we learned of another interesting. I'll talk about the McDonald's toys after this. How about this? How about that? That's a good point, Gary. I should. Will be the 11th director. Wait, what? Will be the 11th director to win Palme d'Or. Okay, that'd be cool. I think he will win again too. I think most people just thought they would give him more of a chance, but I don't know if the studios, especially with Zavslov, to win twice. I think he could be there. I did talk about Coyote versus Acme. I'm sorry. So we learned today that Sam Mendes through Apple and released theatrically through Sony are going to do 4 separate Beatles movies, each one about a different member of the Beatles and their life before the Beatles, after, and right after in the 70s. So there'd be a movie on John, Paul, George, and Ringo, all separate movies. Although a lot of people are making like across the Beatleverse universe jokes, the thing with it is that they're not really crossing over. It's more of a Rashomon thing. Like you see it from different people's perspectives. I wouldn't mind if each one was a different genre and played with things and like had different actors, or how, you know, Ringo perceived John or Paul or something like that. I guess the Ringo one will be the least. I don't know. I was joking that like people are gonna be simping, you know, making like the Ringo movie's the best one, essays and stuff like that, which I can totally see. It's an ambitious project. It's only out in 2027, or at least for now. It's a cool idea to like have one story told 4 different ways with 4 different movies. I do think Sam Mendes has become a lot more experimental in his later years, which is actually pretty cool. Um, but he's always been interesting about creativity and collaboration because he used to I know when he worked with Conrad Hall, the rumor was with his first 2, American Beauty and Road to Perdition, which looked beautiful, but that Conrad Hall kind of storyboarded them all and stuff, and that's not what you're supposed to do. But I think he's interested in experimenting more in the medium than we ever give him credit for. And since his first 2 movies worked with, one of the greatest DPs of all time, I think he was able to get more into his experimentation with 1917 and stuff like that. But I do think this could be an interesting challenge. You could also see him getting real sick of the Beatles after this, but we'll see what the deal is. But by 2027, I hope both Beatles are still alive with him, and we'll see all 4 Beatles movies. And also, who are they going to cast, and how are they going to release them? Like, are they going to release them all at once? Are they going to release them one different season or one a different week or something? We really don't know at this time. That's just their plan, basically, and they're just starting recently. So I would want to see that too. All right. So I keep seeing people bring this up. Is the Elio toys in McDonald's Happy Meals, but I don't think it's in the American Happy Meals. But I have noticed this. Like my kids had the Marvels toys in the summer, and the movie came out in November, and it's happened a few times where we go and it's like for a movie I haven't even heard of yet, and they're playing with the toys, and then when they see it, it's like 6 months later, and the toys are all banged up. I I don't know. It's weird to me that everything else can move when release dates moves, but McDonald's is the one thing. It's like, whoa, we're not changing around the plastic crap we put in Happy Meals for this. We're just putting it out anyway. Which I don't know if they have convinced everyone that that's good marketing, or they just do it anyway. I don't know. It just, yeah. I don't know. It's just, it is odd, but it's just odd. Like McDonald is so powerful that like the Marvels toys come out before there's that much of a trailer. Or same with Elio. It's like, when's that even coming out? 2025. Like, can't you just delay it? Like, you don't have another thing? Can't you just refigure it out? But maybe the contracts are too complex and things like that. So maybe that's why. But it just seems odd that like, despite everything, McDonald's still needs to have the toys that month. So can't lose your shot, I guess. I don't know. Okay. All right. Sorry, getting a little sleepy already. Okay. So, it came out, concept for the animator's film, an animated film version, directed by Patrick Harpin, of Batman Beyond was pitched. It sounded like they didn't even really um, like ever want to make a Batman Beyond thing, but let them pitch it anyway. But like all the concept art and the drawings look so cool. I'm a little surprised they just like let this go. It seems it it just seems odd. Like why even bother wasting people's time? But I guess movie executives don't make any sense anymore. It sounds like a cool um idea, and especially from the drawings and stuff like that, of Batman Beyond. It seemed like a pretty neat idea, but it doesn't seem like it was going to get anywhere. We also learned that Clue is now a hot property in Hollywood. They're really looking at everyone but Apple, apparently, which that's gave some concern, is interested in this Clue movie. Supposedly it is not a remake of the other movie. It is its own thing. Whether they have those people in it or not, I guess, is up for debate. Um, but from the log lines I saw, it looked kind of I don't know. It could be interesting. So okay. Sorry, I'm just getting a little more organized here. Um, all right, sorry. I might, sorry, I might need to take some Red Bull just because my energy's dipping. No, I'm very glad I only choose one segment. So just hearing about Batman Beyond remind me of two kind of things. Superhero attached things that are sort of just more rumored. That James Gunn mentioned Phil Lord and Chris Miller, and he'd love to have them. I find this to be the most boring question you could ask them, because almost every studio gets asked, would they work with Phil Lord and Chris Miller? And of course the answer is yes, because they make people money and stuff. I just uh oh yeah, I don't know. Everyone was talking about like, oh, it would be this movie, it would be that movie, and literally like nobody said anything. And I don't know why James Gunn said that. I sort of am in the group of people who are like, maybe you should say less and be online less. Like, it just feels like he's responding to every silly question, and he went on these people's show or something. Just it really just didn't feel worth it um for him. But I guess like he felt it was. I don't know. Why would you share that anyway? There's also two superhero rumors. Sorry. Um, Henry Cavill possibly being the MCU. This is something that's been hinted at for a long time. I know Doctor Doom is up for they haven't cast Doctor Doom yet. I could actually see him coming back to do a major role. He seems to like superheroes. He's already on the convention circuit. It sort of makes sense. So I could really see him doing something. And I think Doctor Doom would actually be really great for Henry Cavill, but we'll see if he ends up doing that. Or apparently he's not a major part of the first Fantastic Four. He's more in the next one and stuff like that. So we'll see. But I think John Hamm would be a pretty good. Not John Hamm. Sorry. Henry Cavill would be a pretty good Doctor Doom if they really went for it. So, the other one, and this one, oh man, I might need to pee again. This one is, oh no, we have three. Sorry. The other one is Andy Muschietti, most likely is off Batman Brave and the Bold. I would say so because if a lot of people said, but I agree, that if you went to the shareholders and be like, we have directing our new Batman movie, the guy lost us $200 million, Andy Muschietti. So I also don't think he seems like a Batman director and all those things, but it seems like he's going to probably be kicked off the project within the next few weeks. So when you hear that, don't be too surprised. And then finally, Sony seems to be having a fight with Marvel, where Sony wants another Superman No Way Home, followed by, I guess a spinoff and stuff, and Tony Stark, Andrew Garfield. Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and Tom Holland. They wanted them to all come back for a sequel like No Way Home, and then the Marvel wants it sort of to just be a sort of loose. Sorry, need some energy. Apologize, couldn't wait. Marvel wants it to be a more grounded street level thing. I'm more with Marvel. I think doing a direct follow up to No Way Home too quickly ruins the whole point of the whole fucking thing, and I just don't see that being beneficial to anyone really. I think they think, oh well, No Way Home 2 would make more money, but I think they're sort of wrong. You kind of gotta leave these things rest, and you can't do a once in a lifetime thing twice. That doesn't really make any sense. So anyway, I think it is a dumb debate. I hope Sony just needs to let go of the Spider-Man. All right. Hold on. All right, I'm going to pee again. I'm sorry. I just hope my voice isn't doing that well. Nobody drink my my energy drink again if you could. If everyone could just be chill, and then we'll talk about the box office, which I do want to talk about because I think it's actually sort of interesting what's going on. I'll be right back. Apologies. I will mute the mic this time. Just need to use the bathroom. Be right back real quick. Okay. Sorry about that. Um, you're excited for it? Really? You're the first person I've heard that's excited for. Uh, for for. Uh, that's interesting. Nobody drank that, right? Because I need that just to keep me awake. All right. Let's get into the box office because they're seeing. I hope so. Sorry, it's been like a long day, and I think if I hadn't burned my mouth, it would have been okay. All right. Uh, oh, see ya, Dan. Have a good night, and hope to see you again soon. I like your hand thing. It's like you're wearing a glove or something. All right. So, the box office this weekend was interesting because what you basically had were two movies that started opening last Wednesday on Valentine's Day and then played up until Monday. So they had like what people were calling a 6-day box office weekend, sort of, which is not how Box Office Mojo tabulated it, but that's essentially what happened. Bob Marley One Love over at least the weekend from the 16th to the 19th. Is that right? I don't even know. I'm assuming it is. Made about 50. No, made 33 million, but overall its total gross was 51 million. So from Valentine's Day to that, it made 51 million. One of the best first day Valentine's Days. Bob Marley One Love. Bob Marley's one of the. It had the biggest uh, opening day or biggest box office day ever in Jamaica. Um, Look, the thing about Bob Marley is I do not think people truly appreciate how big of a global superstar he is. I actually think this movie could break a billion. It's going to be a huge hit. I was surprised. I don't know. This movie is interesting because when I see that casting, I'm like, are people going to have a problem with that? And apparently people don't. So I haven't seen a ton of people comment on it, and most people really are happy with it. So I don't know what's going on. I haven't seen it. I don't really plan to. It didn't look that good to me, but I think you could see a surprise success because there's a lot. Bob Marley represents a lot to a lot of people, and I think particularly in other regions, um, like South America and Jamaica and other places, this film could be incredibly massive. And he is a real. Apparently, like worldwide, I think he has sold more records than the Beatles and stuff like that. So this could be just a bigger hit than I think people are letting on. I do like Bob Marley. I keep getting that question in various places. My dad actually, I know a lot of people's dads play Bob Marley, but we didn't play the greatest hits. He had the albums. And the one I have a affinity for is Exodus. I know there's other ones, and he did play other ones, and he made his own compilations and things like that. But my dad, like saw him in concert, and like when I Shot the Sheriff come out, he's like, oh, I didn't know about your mom, Nathaniel Foca. Well, I hope you guys have a good time. Like I don't have an opinion. I'm just like not super into biopics, but no, he was like when I Shot the Sheriff by Eric Clapton came out, he was like, oh, this is not as good as the Bob Marley one. So he was, I believe, anyway, he was very into Bob Marley when before it was cool, I guess. Um, but I do like his music, and I do like his album. I didn't grow up with the greatest hits, although the greatest hits is one everyone likes. I just grew up with the albums. It's not me being snooty or I'm better. That's just how I grew up with it. But Exodus is like, I don't know. Every Easter I listen to it because of I was like, I think that works Bible wise, right? Um. Oh, hello. I will bring up the Disney. When do I talk about that? Should probably. Oh man, we are kind of running. Sorry, with all the breaks, it threw everything off. Where was that? Did that get deleted when I move shit around? Well, that's fucking bullshit. What the fuck? Okay, I'll talk about it after the box office, and then we'll talk about award shows. I'm sorry about that. It was in there at one point. I don't know. I move the things around, and sometimes things get deleted for anyone. But, yeah, it's interesting to see this one continue. So, yes. Then Madam Web did really bad, about half the amount of money, and costing a lot more. And yeah, it's number two, 17 million in the weekend, 26 overall. The Chosen is still in there. Made another. This was episodes 4 to 6. Made another 4 million for The Chosen, as well as the top five is 3 is Argyle, 4 is Migration, 5 is Wonka, and The Beekeeper's still in there at number 7. But I guess the real question that everybody's wondering: the Oscar-nominated short films, only documentary got on here. You must mean all of them. The real question is, where is Godard Cinema at the bottom of the box office? I don't see it here. The Shift, which is about after meeting a mysterious stranger, a man must escape a dystopian world to return to his wife. I'm a little confused about that. That was at the exact bottom of the box office for President's Day weekend. Is that in the regular weekend that they have Godard Cinema? Because that's like been the joke. That Godard Cinema is always number one. No, wait, okay. Guys, we got a new winner. As you go to the real thing, everyone in the chat, calm down. Godard Cinema is not the lowest thing in the box office. It actually went up 495.8%. I know. Everyone, calm down. Sorry. The lowest point in the U.S. box office is this film called Skin Deep. It made $319. What is Skin Deep? Is at first glance, Leela and Tristan seem like a happy young couple. This is the box office mojo description. But when they travel to a mysterious remote island, a game of identities begins, which changes everything. Identities? Does that mean they like switch places or something? I'm a little lost on that one. You know what? I will watch. I don't want to do that here, but I'll watch a trailer. Is that like a gender swap thing? That could be cool. I'm not as against that. Whereas Godard Cinema. Oh yeah, I don't know if I mentioned this during the show. Sorry, this is a very loose show tonight. But that's the vibe we got, baby. That's the vibe we got. All right, sorry. When I did the Oscar things, I kept making fun of that visual effects guy. I put this in the Discord. I kept making fun of him, and then because he's nominated 3 times, I was like, he has the potential to be the biggest loser, and I kept making fun of him because I thought it was funny. So when I tweeted that out, his son found me, and yeah, he didn't think it was funny that I did that. So apparently his son thinks I'm a jealous jerk when he doesn't get that it was like a joke, because like he's still an Oscar nominated visual effects guy. I'm like, was kind of being just stupid, but apparently that did not translate to his son. Who doesn't like me. So wow, lost a subscriber there. It's anyway, sorry. So when I do my predictions, I don't know if I'll do a separate stream for predictions, because it's just hard to organize things. It might just be that's the segment or something, but we'll see. His son does need to take chill pills. Son should shut the fuck up. All right, anyway, just what I'm saying. All right, so the Baftas, the 77th British Academy Film Awards happened. So, we should talk about the Baftas. I have some issues with the Baftas. They're not super into people of color. Let's just put it that way. If you notice, like, Lily Gladstone, seemingly not nominated. a little weird. Denzel Washington's actually never been nominated in the history of the BAFTAs ever, which is like one of those things where you're like, oh, did you just not see Training Day or Malcolm X, or like if you forgot one of them, you'd go, that was dumb, but whatever. Award shows aren't great, but then, Austin's here. Wanted to do one of these. Damn it, Austin! I was gonna do a bit later. I was gonna surprise everybody, but I'm gonna do it anyway. I don't give a shit. Thank you, Austin, for that. Wanted to do one of these to Jim to talk about the new horror movie stop motion. Cheers to you. You know what? I actually found out about stop motion, Austin, because I was like, I'm gonna have to go to the IFC Center. It's not part of my Regal Unlimited. Money's always tight, and it actually is part of my Regal Unlimited. I probably won't see Drive-Away Dolls because I'm way more excited for stop motion. So I was actually going to do it. It was in my notes to do it. I'm going to do it anyway. I was going to make it a bit every show for a little bit. I thought it'd be funny. Anyway, cheers to you, Austin. That was great. I like that someone, you know what's funny? Yesterday I said, watch, someone's going to bring it up. And I was like, nah, no one will do that. And you did. So I was right in a sense. Anyway, so the BAFTAs have this weird thing. And I know some people don't think that Denzel's overrated. I've heard that before. But I'm like, come on, Fences that? Like, I'm not a huge Denzel person. I would see Drive-Away Dolls. I kind of want to see it. But, everyone planned on doing a stop motion joke. I don't have anything against it. I also kind of think the problem with Drive-Away Dolls for me is I didn't see Macbeth, and I kind of want to have seen both the Coen brothers solo things. So maybe when they do their combined movies, I'll do both or something. But it's just stop motion looks like really cool, and I don't get to do a lot of animation / horror. Like, stop motion looks like a very unique movie to me. Whereas Drive-Away Dolls is like, it looks a lot of fun, but I only have so much time. So that's, anyway. But it's just weird that the BAFTAs didn't nominate him. But anyway, Oppenheimer won Best Film. There was a YouTuber who was just behind them. It's like the dumbest prank. I'm sorry. Like, it'd be so cool if you stopped Christopher Nolan and like did like what the Beastie Boys did at the VMAs and said, oh my God, is it 12:05? Jesus. And said like, I had all the ideas of Star Wars and all that stuff. Okay, I need to hurry this up, actually. We're getting kind of late. I can't go till like 1 a.m. And I suddenly have all this more energy. That would have been cooler. But Emma Stone won for Poor Things. Lily Gladstone was not nominated. Cillian Murphy won. Robert Downey Jr. won. Despite that I called him racist, Divine Joy Randolph won. It did nominate All of Us Strangers with Paul Mescal and Claire Foy, but not the lead, which is weird. But whatever. And it did nominate Robert. Why did they not nominate Lily Gladstone? It's just like, whatever. And then adapted was American Fiction over Oppenheimer, which is interesting. I've heard people might go in that direction. And Anatomy of Fall won Best Original Screenplay. So we'll see what happens there. For the Annies, I think I might just do a few things. Then I'll be really quick, and then we'll do Boondocks and then questions. I guess. Or am I not? Yeah, I probably should. Because sorry, I just like my throat was. I don't have a sore throat. It just was. Anyway, it just burned my mouth last night on like stupid fucking Wendy's or something. Anyway. So the winners of the Annie Awards was Spider-Verse won Across Spider-Verse won at the BAFTAs. At the BAFTAs, I should have mentioned Boy and the Heron won. It did not win at the Annies. That does sort of like put it up. It kind of puts it up in the air. I sort of think it'll be one of those. I still am worried Elemental might win, but we'll see. And Best Independent was Robot Dreams. Would love to see that, but whatever. It's coming out in May. We'll see it then. Best short subject was War is Over, which is the John Lennon one, which is also nominated for an Oscar. I don't know if I'll get to see that or not. But Snoopy Presents One of a Kind Miracle was best special production. What is G Happy from? I don't even know what that is, but it won. Best TV Media Mature was Blue Eye Samurai. Best TV Media Children was Hilda. Best Limited Series was Generation Fire. Best Student Film was somebody I don't know. But yeah, Spider-Verse won a bunch. Blue Eye Samurai won a bunch. Boy in the Heron won for Best Character Animation. I mean, who's gonna... Sounds good to me. Guardians of the Galaxy won Best Live Action. Spider-Man 2 for Video Game. I'm just reading things. Character design for TV, Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur, very much agree. Best Direction, Spider-Verse. Star Wars Visions won one. Best Music, Spider-Man. Star Wars Visions for something else. Okay, so a lot of cool stuff won. Yeah. Oh, who won Best Voice Acting? Oh, cool. The girl Diamond... I didn't realize that. Diamond White, who plays Moon Girl, won for Best Voice Acting TV Media. Best Feature Acting, Chloe Grace Moretz for Nimona. I like that. I like that. And Best Writing Feature Nimona. Don't know if I agree with that, but okay. Best... that would have gone with Ninja Turtles in that category. Best Writing for TV Media is... Blue Eye Samurai. And I think that is, yeah. All right. So let's just do a trailer rundown, and then we will do a quick obit, and then, sorry. I was just very determined to do this. I didn't want to not do a show tonight because I like doing a show with you guys. So I apologize if I'm getting up a lot and all that stuff. I just, also gotta make the monies and get the channel going, all that stuff too. But I apologize for that some of these times. But it is fun to be here with you talking about the movie news. So we don't have a ton of trailers, but there's a new Civil War trailer. It was a little more serious. I'm not 100% that I feel like this movie thinks it's going to be deeper than it really is, but it's coming out soon. We have the Borderlands trailer. Austin sent me a message on Discord to explain what this game is. To me, as a non-video game person, it just look up. It was sold at least as like Guardians of the Galaxy with its classic rock shit and all that stuff and the colors. Like that's how it looked to me. It looked fun. It looked fine. It just didn't look like any substance or anything. And I know it had various reshoots and stuff. And I don't even think Eli Roth finished it. I think someone else finished it. But it looked fun. I'm assuming it is very much like the game, and people are hyped for it, and everyone's like, "Yippee, Skippy!" It's like they're going after the Borderlands. It looks like it could be a fun movie. I don't get why Kevin Hart's in it, but it is cool seeing Cate Blanchett and Jamie Lee Curtis. There's another trailer for Challengers, which looks like just a different cut, and it's the same idea of a trailer. Cool. And then we find out that Wallace and Gromit are going to fight a giant robot gnome in the next one. William Ellman, I have not seen the Civil War trailer. I actually get the Challengers trailer all the time now. Before I got, it was Tim Miller. Thank you, Nathaniel Foga. I actually get either Challengers or before I got Argyle. But I like Challengers seems cool because it's like an original idea, but I've not actually seen the Civil War trailer in a little bit. That's interesting that. I wonder if it's like the theater chain or something. But I haven't gotten sick of it yet. But when I watched the different cut of it, I was like, I mean, that's a little dumb. Why did you release a trailer for that? And then finally, I'm committed to this. I keep forgetting to mention this trailer, but there's this really cool movie. It's called Stop Motion. It's about a stop motion animator who slowly gets haunted, and attacked by their stop motion figures through ghosts. It's a really cool movie. You should check out the trailer. I'm definitely going to be reviewing it, but it's got an interesting vibe. And how often do you see stop motion with horror? It's such an interesting concept. Anyway, so Obits, this is actually one that kind of represents something to me. Hello. Somebody is defending. Hold on. Sinram is in the chat. Said, looking forward to Civil War. We need more social issue dramas. There are also action movies with explosions and CG, like The Day After Tomorrow. I don't know about The Day After Tomorrow thing though, but I do like I do like your. I'm not sure that was a joke. I'm sorry, but no, I agree. We do need more stuff to do it. But thank you. That's very generous of you, Sinram. Thank you for popping in like Han Solo at the end there. Cheers to you. I don't know. I'm not against it. It just does feel like it's like doesn't fully get its shit together, but it's not really thought out what it's going to do. But okay, sorry. So I don't. Anyway, we'll see. I never saw what's it the conservative other one, and I kind of felt like I probably should have done that. I probably was it the one about the child, the Jesus saves the child trafficking movie. All right, so I don't know. I'm a little lost on how many people. You know what? We're pretty close. I'm just gonna go actually to the Boondocks because it's like 12:15 right now, and I didn't really want to go that much over. So we're just going for it. Just this Boondocks questions, right? Let's say we have 20 minutes left. Let's do it that way. All right. So I don't know. I know when I say The Office, most of you think the American Office, but the original British Office, which is my wife and I first watched when we first got together. So it holds a special place in my heart. But it's also a fucking great show, regardless of personal attachment. But Ewan McIntosh, who played Keith or Big Keith in The Office, died. He's 50 years old. I actually think that's. I don't know. That made me sad because he's like, even though I haven't watched that show in forever, I highly recommend the original Office. I do like the difference between the British Office and the American one is that in America, it's highly believable that your incompetent boss would stick around for 5 seasons. So like that, I believe. And in England, they're like, yo, you're gone, buddy. It was like, anyway, he was a great improviser. He was always really funny. He had a few pretty great, hilarious bits, but really a great supporting actor. I wish I got to see him in more stuff, but I think like he will live on with the British Office, which is definitely up there with one of the greatest shows of all time, and I'm serious about that. All right. Sorry about I feel like the flow of this is like blah, 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 blah. The flow of this episode, not of that Obit. I hope it wasn't of that Obit. All right, so I'm just gonna take a swig of this to get us. Sorry, I am not in the greatest condition. For some reason, something keeps getting stuck in my eye today. I have 2 cuts from work. All sorts of stuff. But you know what? We're here together. That's what matters. I have these bad Back to the Future cards. It's really remarkable. These are like definitely the worst cards. And even this graphic design, it's like not even good. You know, I'm not the greatest graphic designer or anything, but I know enough to know this is like whoever had to come up with it, I feel like that probably took a while, but this is the execution. Jesus. We should really do Jim's graphic design critiques. That would be That's what everyone wants. All right. So, uh, I did not really talk about I'll mention the Joker 2 budget. The thing with the Joker 2 budget is Todd Phillips, it's like $200 million, but that's like how sequels go. It was always going to be double. It is a bit extreme, but I think they're just like going to let Todd Phillips and I mean, the thing is, like, it has Joaquin Phoenix, who has a huge celebrity agent. He won an Oscar for it, and it's his big star vehicle. Of course, he's going to ask for as much as he humanly possibly can make because this is his payday movie. They wanted to make a weird, crazy musical. That's going to be expensive. And they wanted Lady Gaga, who also has a big, crazy agent. So it's sort of what happens. And he's known for, and I'm serious about this, if you look at the budgets for the Hangovers, they each got like crazy big each time. Like Todd Phillips is known for starting at like Hangover pretty low, and then he got everyone, I think, got up to 15 million by the second one, and I think they got up to 20 by the third one. And it's like you could say justifiably because that's a star-driven movie. They're the expense, you should, but at the same time, I'm sure any studio, and not knowing that, that's what he has a history of doing that. So that's why I think that happened ultimately. Sorry I didn't mention Joker 2. But I think it'll be an interesting, ridiculous musical. I'm excited for the mess that it is. I'm like, throw more money at it. Let Zaslav, I want to see Zaslav sweat, baby. All right. I want to see the Zaz have some heart arrhythmia. Or worse. I mean, does anyone like him? I'm sure his own mother at this point. Okay, sorry. That was too far. All right. The Boondocks Pilot. Let's ignore I did that. The Boondocks Pilot. So I have been wanting to see this pilot, which was made for the Fox Network, for a very long time. I used to be a really big Boondocks fan as the comic strip. That's how I knew it. And so I want you to know, if you're watching this, that I am coming at this from I am coming at this as a fan of the comic strip, not of that was where my entry point was. So I wasn't like, oh, I got into the cartoon and then I was aware there was a comic strip. That's where I was coming from with it. However, I think that sort of works into what this is. This is because this was lost for all this time, finally released. It was supposedly, when they were doing this at Fox, it didn't work out. It looked like there wasn't going to be a Boondock show. Then Adult Swim figured it out. This looks to me like, and it looks like a pilot of, like, before what would eventually become Boondocks and the pilot stuff. It seems like the real difference is that I don't think they wrote a real show. They wrote segments. Like, this is far more My Neighbor the Yamadas than it is an actual TV show, which is like part of the thing with it. But so this started off with like them obviously watching like the Parkers, I'm pretty sure, whatever they give it some other name or something, and it's Huey and brother shit. Huey, I always remember Huey. And I watched a bunch of Boondocks, and now I'm like, the Boon. And everyone's gonna say his name by the time I find it. The Boondocks. It's an American sitcom. Huey. What's the name of his stupid brother? Anyway. Huey and his brother. Huey Riley. Okay, there we go. So Huey and Riley are watching TV. Are watching TV, and they're watching the Parkers, and he says he really likes the Parkers. Dewey and Louie. Thanks, James Maiden. He's insulted by him, but then it like moves on to like they're going to school. The grandpa explains the whole like he bought the house thing with their savings, which is directly in the actual first episode. There's a lot of things like grandpa working out to the infomercial of Billy Blanks. I forget if he's naked in the first episode, which I just watched actually, but gets naked in the pilot. But each of these things feels like a segment, like a series of strips from the strip. It like very much feels like Peanuts or Kathy or Garfield would do specials randomly sometimes, and that's what this feels like. It doesn't feel like someone went, "How do we convert this into a show?" It felt like how this is what we have, make this into show. And I think that is ultimately the big difference. If I was a network or something, I do think it is funny. There's a lot of text in this explaining certain things. Sometimes it can be funny describing people, sometimes not. But it just doesn't feel like a fully fleshed out show. It just feels like people were taking moments like the comic strip and making it animated. But it, to me, felt like it needed more development. It didn't feel like it was done necessarily. And even the animation is like a little different. It just, and I know like you could say now, well, we know the animation is different and you're just not accustomed to it. It just didn't feel like, it just felt like a first pass, and maybe they didn't recognize that, but it to me it felt like they just didn't fully develop an episode around this concept. Whereas the first episode of the actual show is like, oh, they're in the neighborhood. It touches on the school thing. It touches on kids around the neighborhood. The concept of like the grandfather, of Uncle Ruckus, stuff like that. How they feel about being in this white neighborhood. And this one, it's like just like the grandpa with Billy Blanks is separate from the thing at the beginning, is separate from the this. Is, you know, it's just so episodic. Have a good night, Cartwright. Thank you for being here. It just didn't feel all the way connected the way I think the show does, and the show's really good at like taking on, like, it feels like a plot and a theme, and it's written well. And it almost felt like in this, like, nobody had taken like a screenwriting course or like a storytelling class that was in media or outside of what comic strips were. I do think like under like what this is, it's actually pretty good. Like if I had seen it at the time, I would probably like it, and I would be cool with the show doing this. But I think like that's not something audiences really like, and I can understand like a network's hesitation about something like this. It's also only 6 minutes. I always thought it was going to be a lot longer, but whatever. But I do think maybe Fox could have been like, let's develop more. I do think it shows a lot of promise. It shows like this could be transitioned into a thing. It is weird that Huey's voice is done by Alicia Keys supposedly, although I couldn't find that. It like, I'm not sure what the source is on that, but I was like, okay. I mean, I guess not Regina King, but Alicia Keys. It seems weird because this was like during her peak time. Like, why would she voice a cartoon? Anyway, that just seems odd, but maybe she liked the Boondocks a lot. I don't know. I did like this, and as someone who read the comic strips and was really into it, I was happy with it. But I do think you could tell why it wasn't picked up. And why a network was like, I don't know about this, but I do think like showing it more patience and understanding what needed to be changed about it was like how a true interesting executive does it, and thus how Adult Swim has interesting smart executives who are like, well, this is a cool property that would work within our thing, and if we spend some time on it, we could have a different, unique show, which what the Boondocks was. And I don't think Fox had that executive at the time, and that's why Adult Swim got it and made it into what it was, and Fox only really got this and didn't really get anything. So I think that's sort of like the story of how the Boondocks landed where they are, and you sort of get another piece to understand how it all got that way. All right. Okay. All right. I have like 4 Patreon questions, so I'm going to do questions below. If anyone wants to get anything in before show is over, now is your time. All right, so the first question is from Jordan Bouchard, who asks, Are there any are there any BBC shows you've enjoyed? I think it would be silly to say it at this point, but The Office is one I enjoy. As well as, I used to like Red Dwarf. It's been a long time since I watched it. I obviously like Doctor Who, although, again, been a bit since I watched that. Garth Marenghi ITV or BBC? Well, I like Garth Marenghi. It's British. Despite the creator, I still like the IT crowd. Only Fools on Horses, AbFab, Shaun the Sheep, if that's BBC. Bluey's BBC, so I hope that answers that. Austin, who I'm pretty sure isn't here anymore, but said on Patreon, "Hey Jim, great show. I hope you're feeling well. I know you said you were not feeling well on the weekend. That is true. I really wasn't. My question on the watch along, we were talking about how to do a movie crap abridged series. My suggestion was to do like Clutch Cargo and have your lips replaced with someone else. Have them read news is made up. How would you do a movie crap abridged parody of movie crap? I would probably like not make a point and do segments about a bunch of nonsense, maybe something like that, or have like my sock. I think I used to have the Knock for socks. Maybe if I'd have my gym sock, like do the news. Actually, the sock thing would be cool. Maybe I should just do that. Make a sock puppet and do a few segments of that. I think that will be cool. Nathaniel Foga asks, "What's a person? I guess you mean who's a person you feel deserves a biopic?" Actually, I know I talked about it in the Martin Scorsese thing, but Teddy Roosevelt, like you could literally do a superhero movie. If you read on Teddy Roosevelt's like biography, it feels like a superhero movie. Basically, you could 100% do that. I don't know why people haven't. I was like developing a script about that, and I just sort of abandoned it. But I used to really want to do Teddy Roosevelt as superhero, but I'm not like patriotic enough, and I was like, maybe this isn't how I feel about America. But anyway, Sinram asks, I recently read an essay about the Lego movie as it's the 10-year anniversary of the movie's release. The writer stated that the Lego Barbie and Clue have been the best movies adapted from toys or games. Do you agree? And are there any that you add to that list? I would agree with that. At least Lego and Barbie. I feel like Clue's like a separate era, so I think it just means quality in that case, but I think of recent memory. Right? Of like a product like that. I've kind of liked the Super Mario movie now more because my kids enjoy it, but I did like the Pac-Man cartoon as a kid. I don't know. There's none that I don't like for like other nostalgic or other reasons and stuff like that. So I would probably say I don't know, Playmobil. Why why don't we say Playmobil? I can't think of any unless there's one I'm forgetting. All right. I don't think there's any I'm forgetting, right? I mean, anyway. Let's try to get as many as we can. I know we're running long. I'm going to take a swig of the Rock's favorite. Okay. Question from Black Sea Oxwinkle. Which video game do you want to see get a movie? I'm actually surprised it's taking Zelda so long, but I would say Metroid, to be honest. I think Metroid would be cool. I'm surprised that one, nobody's figured that out yet. Or Star Fox. Star Fox, directed by Wachowski. That'd be cool. I guess it's Lana did The Matrix. Star Fox, directed by Lana. I think it's Lana, right? Lily's doing the Trash Mountain thing, I think. Cornbread was looking at the release slate for upcoming movies. Something caught my eye that I think has kind of flown under the radar called stop motion. You hear of this? Plan in advance. I like that in my head I was like, I should make this a meme, and everyone else agreed. I like that. Not plausible. Who's Wendy and why is she burning her mouth? No, it was like, I just had the ghost pepper burger, and I ate it quick because I wanted to see Madam Web. And while I was seeing the movie, I was like, I should get some water, and I didn't. I don't know. I feel sort of silly about it, to be honest with you. The same powers. Since we can never beat the awful big studio decisions, should we just blindly accept and be happy with everything they do, and we'll feel better? Absolutely. Yeah, that was the way to take that. I agree. We should just agree with the corporations. It's a better situation. Black Sackle, what's your dream Kevin James role? Has Kevin James ever been in Curb? Maybe that. Maybe Kevin James in a Disney movie? Something like that. Nathaniel Foga, think you'll ever have your place open for spring breakaway again? No. I did a Manifest Destiny burn again. James Manning, I have the Tick animated TV show on DVD from a thrift shop, but I've never seen it. Is it worth watching? Any thoughts on the Tick in general? I love that animated show. That show was one of the few at the time that appealed more to adults than kids. I really do like the animated show. I haven't seen it in a while, but in the 90s I loved it. I still have the shitty toys somewhere. We have them hung up around here. Favorite fantasy show / movie? I mean, it's Willow. I'm gonna say Willow. It's Willow. Mandela Effect, doing anything for Leap Day? No. And I forgot it was a leap year. Although, you know what? I might. That is William Wellman's birthday, and he's one of my favorite. I might do some posts about William Wellman. That's about it. I'll figure out. I was gonna figure out how many, because he used to joke. I was born on a leap day, so I'm actually only 5. So for a 5-year-old, I'm doing okay. Or like whatever. I know he made that joke a lot. Which, if your birthday's on a leap year, you should. Sorry, Zane Powers, is my being here and the comments I make get responded to setting off a butterfly flag that will save millions of lives or kill them? I think it's saving them. Maybe I'm being optimistic, but I think it's saving them. Oh, come on. Why does it do that? Okay. When will Danny Masterson make his comeback? St. Powers. I don't know, but I heard about, I guess on TikTok, which I don't know how confirmed that is, about him and the thing with the jail who's going to move, but I don't think he's ever coming back. I don't think that 70s show, its legacy is destroyed pretty much. Sam Powers, worst case of a big name actor playing a neurodivergent character just because they want the prestige of it. I don't know if it works for the prestige of it anymore, but probably Sean Penn in that one movie. Worst Ridley Scott film. That is a thinker, but I think I would go with The Counselor. I know people defend it, but I saw that first day, and what the fuck is that? The Cameron Diaz on the hood of a car, you're just like, that, wow, you did that in a movie, huh? Not plausible. What is a movie your theoretical even twin would like, but you yourself wouldn't like? I mean, like, The Blind Side, probably. He would love The Blind Side. And Green Book. Cornbread, because it's been super hot button this week, I was going to ask a loaded question about the Animation Guild and what's been going on, but it's late and you seem tired, so that's the family doing. That's funny. I don't talk about it as much because, one, I'm so much of an outsider, and I know they made a temporary agreement, and that's good, but there's like a lot of nuances to it, and I don't want to like just boil it down, but my family's doing good. Everybody's having a good time. Question, for a European, why are so many of Ridley Scott's historical movies set in Europe filled with so many egregious factional layers? I think he said only nerds read history books is what his like literal quote was. I think he was like, I don't give a shit. How do you even know? I think was what his response was, which I was kind of like, cool. What did he say? What is this the most tired you've been on stream? No, I think like 3 weeks ago was the most tired. It's just that my eyes being a little funky today. Maybe I should have canceled, but I didn't want to. So that's basically what it is. Question, how many more streams until you fall on stream and we just stare at you for hours? I've never fallen asleep, but we'll see. Stop motion or monster truck? Stop motion is the new, you know what? Stop motion deserves your money more than monster trucks. So if that helps, when stop motion comes out, will you make a video making a big deal about why you won't review it? No, I want to do that. That should be the next meme, is me going like getting offended or something. Oh my god. You want to hear a fucked up? Oh my god, it's late. All right. We should probably finish this up. I'm sorry. I will review it. Anyway, what's the best version of the Junker? I Mark Hamill always. Cesar Romero's cool, but Mark Hamill. Question is the Dark City DVD really that worth it? Yes, of course. Stop doing Jesus. Okay, we have a few and then we'll be done. Do you know how disappointed I was when your segment was reviewing the Boondocks Saints pilot? Oh my god, I should do Boondocks at one point. No, Boondocks Saints, because I really don't like that movie. How did the monster trucks bit start? I think because we just thought it was funny, and it was such a ridiculous idea for a movie, and then it just like kept coming back. I guess I don't know. It'd be super petty April Fool's joke. I can tell you that much. I actually have an April Fool's idea already, so don't worry. Have your stop motion review in stop motion. That would take too long. Anyway, I think that's it for tonight. I want to thank everyone for their super chats tonight. I really appreciate it. Thank you anyone for being here. Thank you everyone who watches the videos. That's really cool of you. Thank you all for being as supportive as you all are. I am actually going to do, I want to say this. I'm actually excited for stop motion because it seems like a cool movie. And I think like most animation people won't talk about it. So I'm both like I don't see like Mr. Chuchellos or Tariq or Man of a Thousand Thoughts or Saber or any of those guys talking about, and I'm not trying to be a jerk. I just don't see it getting any coverage. So I'm kind of most excited to just talk about it because I want to give it some attention. And I was like, it'd be cool to do like a weird art movie that, you know, deserves some animation love, and, you know, not to give myself too much credit or something. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe I'm wrong. Anyway, thank you all for being here. Hopefully, I'm gonna eat like a cold dinner next time before I see stop motion and do this. I'll let you know what's going on with the Oscar things. I think the Boondocks Pilot will be the next video. So if you're like, he just did this last night, that's just because I'm going to do Madam Web. I can't shoot that till tomorrow. And then I will do a short about Avatar. Believe it or not. I'm not going to review the whole show, but I can watch an episode. And we'll see what I think, I guess. Anyway, have a good night. We will talk about stop motion will happen. Trust me. I'm going to probably next week. And thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. You all have a great weekend. I will see you all next time. And have a good night. And be good to each other. And see a cool movie. And subscribe if you would like to. And go watch Alphabet City. It's on, I believe it's on Tubi. It was on Tubi last I checked. I hope it's on Tubi. All right. See ya.